right, y'all. It is Wednesday. It is Wednesday, right, guys? It's Wednesday.
Allegedly.
Humpity hump. All right. Oh, man, it's right here in the middle of the week where I start to get antsy. I don't know where to go. I don't know whether to go to the past. I don't know whether to go forward. Do I start predicting the future, or do I start interpreting what's already happened? I don't know. Wednesdays. But you guys are here. You're watching the show. Thank you for that. I'm going to give you an analogy. But I'm not going to do it yet. I'm going to make you wait. I'm going to make you wait 15 minutes. Seems like a long time, but it's really not, because I see you guys in the live chat say, oh, my God, I can't believe the show's already over with. Our first segment's always 15 minutes long, and most of the time, the live chat, people that are watching live on social media, on YouTube, let's be specific, they don't start showing up until segment 2, till the B block. I'm going to save it till we've got a bigger audience, because I'm going to blow your mind with an analogy. It's going to put a lot of things in perspective. Something that if we would get back to this, it would have saved our country. It would have stopped us from getting to where we are. Now I don't know if we're savable. I don't know if we're salvageable. I don't know if we're redeemable at this point. So you're going to have to wait. And that's okay. You can wait. A lot of things to talk about, not the least of which is it seems that my Texas Rangers are now poised to win the World Series. They won last night in stellar fashion. You know, I'm always careful when I go on social media and start saying, you know, I'm a Georgia Bulldog. I say, go Dogs. People, I'm so disappointed in you. Well, they literally got all of my money for tuition, so I spent a lot of time there. I'm disappointed in you. Well, that's where I went to school. I think I have the right to pull for them. What Texas team do you like? None of them. Literally none of them. I wish the Texas teams could beat each other. It's my choice. All's fair in love and war and college football. And I grew up a Braves fan. I grew up in Georgia, so I was an Atlanta Braves fan. Somebody told me today that I've got a fake-ass accent and a fake-ass cowboy hat, and all this is pretend. No, there's a lot that's maybe fake about me. It's not those things. But as a Braves fan, growing up there, I didn't miss a game, man. But I've been in Texas now, specifically Fort Worth, 21 years. Yeah, 21, 22 years. I love the Texas Rangers. I'm happy to see what they're doing. I think they're going to do it. But again, can't count the Diamondbacks out, man. They might come back. They could. Stranger things have happened. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited they could win the World Series tonight. And I will be there sipping on tequila and watching that game. We'll see what happens. But Pete, you put sports stuff on social media. God forbid. So what I've been doing is I've been like, what do you think the score is going to be? How many home runs do you think they're going to hit? You know, the
little engagement farming.
Stupid engagement farming.
Yeah.
That's right. Just to get people talking.
Simpler time when the tribal politics was just about who was going to win the World Series.
Yeah.
I look back on that, I'm like, what an innocent era that was, when all we argued about was sports.
Yeah. Now, everything's politicized. I mean, if I wanted to make a post about what I'm thinking about, is I would remind you that the Texas Rangers are the only baseball organization in Major League Baseball that didn't have a Pride Night. Something to be said for that. And I'm shocked that we're still here after yesterday's episode. I watched my rant on the gay museum, and I thought about it. I was very proud of it. I was quite happy with my rhetoric. That's a phrase that'll probably be used against me. But I remind everybody that I wasn't, again, people say, well, it's hate towards a certain community. No, it's not. It's hate towards the idea of a museum for that certain community. That's what I said. It's not my fault that you guys turn everything into a debaucherous circus. And again, all I got to do is just show you the clips of what you guys do. You can watch the film. You can watch the video of how you guys devolve into your sexual appetites. Again, and you need to watch Overtime. We taped it yesterday with Sarah Gonzalez, where Sarah made a very astute point about when you define your identity by your sexuality, what do you expect? Our friend Kaya Reichik. I'm never sure she's a friend, and I'm still never sure.
I think it's
Chaya
Reichik. It's hard. I just call her Libs of TikTok.
Libs of TikTok.
Yeah.
Chaya, I've never met her in person, but we've done numerous things together, like on people's shows where we do news hits or whatever. Chaya Reichik. So we know each other. We know who each other is, who we are, I guess. I don't know. I speak for a living. I love her. I think she's great. She's a nice person, but she's a smart lady. And they had her on the glossary of extremism. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever been on a list. I've been on a few. I'm still on a few. Still, one of my proudest moments is I was in the top 10 of largest. What's the phrase? It was who expressed the most hate towards the gay community.
You got in the top 10 bigots on
top
Twitter?
Top 10. This was a British publication. They put us. Chaya made that list too. And it was all because in our tweets we used the word, it was in terms of interaction and responses to what we said on things like Twitter. It was because of our use of the word groomer and the responses we got to that. It could be a little weird when you know that you're on a list. Very Nazi Germany, very communist Russia, very 21st century America. But she was on a thing for the glossary of extremism. And she's an Orthodox Jew. She's written the children's book. You know, she's a former real estate agent. I mean, it sounds deadly to me. And of course, in their glossary, they include a lot of various Nazi organizations and mass murdering terrorist groups like Hamas and ISIS, even the KKK. And so she got tired of it, and she told them that she said they had till yesterday, October 31st, to remove the defamatory entry before she would take action, legal action. And the Anti-Defamation League, they did it. They took her off the list. And, of course, you know what that did? That drew the ire of certain ones in the LGBTQ. Ari Drennan, LGBT program director at Media Matters, bemoaned the efficacy of Libs of TikTok, noting that it has been shaping public policy in a real way and affecting teachers' ability to feel safe in their classrooms. Libs of TikTok is shaping our entire political conversation about the rights of LGBTQ people to participate in society. See, this is why I went on the rant yesterday, because this is the kind of thing that pisses me off. This is the sort of thing that bugs the piss out of me. To say that one Twitter account from a former real estate agent is shaping the entire political conversation. Now, if you're not familiar with Libs of TikTok, what she does is she posts videos of actual people saying actual things. You can walk away from those videos with whatever interpretation you so choose. And Chaya's been doxxed, you know, and so I mean they reveal where she is, her location, who she is. She was under Libs of TikTok. They doxed her by revealing her real name. They dead named her, if you will. She identified as a Twitter handle. And Harvard Kennedy School professor Juliet Kayyem, a supposed expert on terrorism who served as the Department of Homeland Security's Assistant Secretary for Intergovernmental Affairs in the Obama administration, cited Reichik as an example of stochastic terrorist. Well, that's a mouthful. She's a stochastic terrorist. Said that wanted to ostracize Reichik and neutralize her reporting, allegedly pushing hard for X to shut down her account and put her in the glossary of extremism. See, this is the thing. When you have a program director for LGBT at Media Matters, when you have the Anti-Defamation League on your team pushing for you to be shut down, even though, again, they blinked. When you have Harvard Kennedy School professor speaking out on your behalf, when you have all these different folks out there who are speaking out on behalf of your group, you can't claim ostracization and marginalization and oppression anymore. You just can't. You are a part of mainstream society. And here's the thing. Nobody is talking about your average rank and file gay person. Doesn't mean we approve of your life or your lifestyle. You have a right to live. I approve you as a human being. How about that? Doesn't mean I want to, watch you get janky with each other. I don't want to see your swinging pecker walking down the street under a rainbow flag. I don't want to see your parade floats that are very phallic. I don't want to see any of that stuff. But again, I can disagree with you. But I don't care about the average rank and file person who's living their own life in their own way, making their own sexual preferences, doing their own thing, and leaving everybody else alone. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about people who are trying to influence children, who are trying to change language, who are manufacturing oppression, who are creating a sense of victimhood that doesn't exist, wanting everybody to apologize to you, wanting everybody to grovel at your feet, to make room for you when society's already done that. It's not my responsibility to recognize you. You be who you want to be. I don't have to recognize you. I don't have to recognize anybody. But the fact that certain things that I believe are extreme behavior on the part of a certain community, when that's called out or revealed, the way Shia has done that with the Libs of TikTok, then I think you got to make an explanation for your behavior. Because if you're going to take account, if you're going to take into account that these people belong to your movement, then I think you're the one maybe that needs to do some apologizing. Maybe you're the one that needs to do some groveling at the feet of society and say, hey, we do have some elements among us that are causing all of the freedoms we've been given, all of the rights that we've been allotted, all of these things we fought for so many years to be recognized. Now they're a detriment, not only to our community, but to society at large. And I think that that's what Libs of TikTok has revealed. In Alejandra Carabella, who's a radical transvestite. Those are my favorite kind. Radical transvestites. And a Harvard Law School clinical instructor who testified before the House Oversight and Reform Subcommittee on Civil Rights and Civil Liberties in December. Now, understand, we have a transvestite who I think is a man that identifies as a woman with a name like Alejandra. I'm going to go with that. Who had the ability to go testify before the House Oversight and Reform Subcommittee on Civil Rights and Civil Liberties. Had the ability to go do that. Now, that doesn't sound like a marginalized person to me. Because, I mean, can you tell me back in Nazi Germany, I mean, is there any test cases, anything we can look at, pull up a proof file there to say, you know what? In Nazi Germany, they were all the time just letting the Jews come in and testify on their behalf. Were they? I don't think they could. I don't think they were letting Jews do that. I mean, they were showing them to the train cars. They were showing them to the showers. They were showing them to the ovens. They were showing them to the concentration camps. But they didn't have the right to go talk to Germany's equivalent of the House Oversight and Reform Subcommittee on Civil Rights and Civil Liberties, did they? No. But a radical transvestite has the right to go do that. Doesn't sound like a marginalized group to me. But here's what he/she, whatever, said the Anti-Defamation League are a bunch of effing cowards caving to this terrorist. Really? Shia Reichik. I'm going to call her up and say, I didn't know it was so easy to be a terrorist in this day and age. I mean, forget the fact that, and by the way, we got the story wrong. It wasn't Utah. It was Colorado, which is where that amusement park was, where they found the dead guy in the women's bathroom. And now, it's 3 days since that story came out. Notice nothing else has been said about that story. Isn't that fascinating? Should tell you everything you need to know about that story. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it was a person of color. Probably a brown person, not a black person. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that there was maybe something going on there. Maybe there was a little history there that of a quote-unquote marginalized group that they don't want to bring attention to. I'm just going out on a limb. Just the fact, because let me tell you something. If it was a red hat wearing white Trump supporter that they found in a women's bathroom with bombs and grenades and fake or not fake, handguns and rifles, it would be all they are freaking talking about. So when you have an actual terrorist, like the person they found, who God knows what they were there to do with pipe bombs in an amusement park, they don't talk about that. But Chaya Reichik is a terrorist. For posting videos of your behavior. Now, I know I've beat the hell out of this topic, but it's one that seriously pisses me off. And that's why I went on the rant yesterday, because I'm really sick of people who have manufactured oppression, putting everybody else in a chokehold to where they can't speak, they can't talk, they can't function without fear of uprising or being put on a list because we call your stupid behavior out. So I'm one of those guys that's going to keep, and again, don't care about the rank and file, gay, lesbian, I don't care. You mind your own business, mind your own business. But the radical folks out there that identify under some kind of alphabet soup, I'm tired of the rhetoric. Tired of the rhetoric. Hey, listen, if you're a radical tranny and you need some skincare, ladies and gentlemen, the brand new Genucell 3 is finally here. The most advanced Genucell ever. Genucell 3 combines hyaluronic acid, iceryl, goji berry, caffeine, green tea. Going to make your bags, your puffiness disappear along with the dark circles, fine lines, crow's feet, and firm up your eye contour area. And for the longevity of your skin, this is the first Genucell to provide instant hydrating minerals so it feels like a facial at the spa. Now, the new Genucell 3 is included in the Genucell Fall Classics package at a crazy introductory discount. The Fall Classics package also includes the Genucell Jawline treatment for a firmer, tighter neck and jawline. You also get the classic Genucell XV Anti-Wrinkle Moisturizer and the Vitamin C Deep Firming Serum. I'm talking to you, ladies. It's like a free spa treatment every day. I use the stuff, and I ain't no lady. You know what I'm saying? Listen, if you don't look 10 years younger and get compliments everywhere you go, you can get your money back. No questions asked. Go to genucell.com/watchchad for deep discounts on this amazing fall package. You call them 800-SKIN-211. And for results in 12 hours or less, the immediate effects is included free. So get ready for your Thanksgiving get-together. Go to genucell.com/watchchad. Call them 800-SKIN-21. That's GENUCEL.com/watchchad. We'll be right back. You know, I tell my girlfriend all the time, she loves the Genucell stuff. She loves it. I mean, it's like monkeys on a pile of candy bars, man. You throw a bucket of that out there. Her and her sister and sister-in-law and her mother, all of them, they just climb into that box of Genucell when it shows up. And I told her, I said, don't be going and getting your face lasered and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to tell y'all a story. I shouldn't do this. She texted me this morning. She was pissed off, man. She was pissed off. She's ready to go scorched earth on this skin salon, spa, whatever, down where we live in Montgomery County. If you're curious about where it is, you can message her and find out. I'm not going to call them out on this forum. But she had a gift card that was given to her. Her mother gave her for like $750, which means, I don't know, you can go get some moisturizer or something. These places are expensive. And she went in there, and she had two cards, and she accidentally threw the good one away. She went in there, used it, and accidentally threw it in the trash. Immediately called them and said, hey, I did this. And they said, we got it. Here's the number for it. It's still good. Use it. So she went in there this morning and visited with them, and they said, yeah, you're going to have to pay and blah, 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 and that card's no good anymore. She's like, I talked to the manager. And they said, well, we've been overridden by the manager. And she's like, but I talked to the manager. And they wouldn't do it. And so I'm like, y'all have made a mistake. Nobody pisses off a woman when you get between her and her skincare. I'm like, just get the Genucell, baby. Just get the Genucell. She's like, y'all don't know what you have done. That girl will call everybody in Montgomery County. She'll call every woman in the Woodlands, Texas, and tell them about this place. Not honoring her gift card. All right, I promise you guys an analogy. I'm going to give you one. I love how I come back from breaking 7 text messages show up all at once. I'm in the studio, people. Let's say that, well, I'll tell you a story. I put it like this. Back in the day, I had a little farm south of Atlanta, Georgia, and it wasn't a big place. Just it was a few acres out there, and I had a big field out back. It was about 5 acres that was kind of like one big backyard. So I'd mow that thing and get out there on my little riding lawnmower, and I'd spend hours back there mowing that deal. It was a little lawnmower, and my wife at the time, she said, got to get you a bigger something to mow. We're going to get you a bigger mower. And so she surprised me one day, and I came home, and there was one of those big, wide, zero radius turn mowers, one of the things you can just knock it out. Spent a lot of money on this thing, and she told me, she said, you know what, even the kids broke the piggy banks and pitched in. We really wanted to give you this because we want to, just wanted to just do something nice for you. You spend so much time working around here. So I went out and mowed with the thing. I loved it, dude. It was good. It was efficient, man, and it really kept the place looking good. And about a week later, she came in, and I was out back, and I was mowing with the old mower again. And she said, what happened to the new mower? I said, I gave it away. She said, what do you mean you gave it away? I said, well, the neighbor's yard needed some stuff going on. The folks right down the road there. And they got a big spot out there, too, and theirs was kind of getting overgrown, so I gave it to them. She said, so you mean you loaned it to them? I said, no, I gave it to them. She goes, did they buy it from you? No, I gave it to them. It's theirs. It's not ours anymore. I'm just going to keep using this. She said, well, why would you do that? I said, well, they needed it. Well, I know they needed it, but we're going to need it, too, because the grass here is going to grow again. I said, no, we'll figure something out. We'll get another one at some point in time. Well, who's going to take care of ours? We sacrificed to give you this incredible gift. Even the kids chipped in, broke the piggy banks, man, invested in this gift for you, and you just gave it to someone else. We don't understand that. Now, first of all, none of that ever happened. But I want to point out something. Help me figure out why America is giving everything away. I mean, you and I are paying taxes. Well, you are. I don't pay them so much. I don't believe in them. But you and I we pay taxes. We break the piggy banks year after year. We sign and, hope we read the fine print, hope the CPA was right, hope we don't get in trouble, send that amount of money in. And the government takes it and they do things. They make roads and deliver the mail and, supply us with a military, defense, and security. Supposedly take care of our borders and protect us, right? Educate our children, supposedly. Do all these things. We invest in them so that our lives can be easier. And they're not. And what they do is they take all of our stuff that we've invested in and then give it away. They're giving our military stuff to Ukraine. Now we're talking about giving it to Israel. All over the world. We're just giving stuff away. We're not loaning it. They're not going to give it back to us. They're not buying it from us. There's no payment plan. We're just giving it to our neighbors and saying, here, you need it. And we'll figure out something later on. We've already stated over and over again that we're 7 years behind on our missile production because we've given 7 years worth of missile production away to Ukraine. So we're literally 7 years behind. We've talked about shortages of ammunition. We've talked about, forget the fact that our they've lessened the requirements for our military members in terms of physical training, physical performance. I saw a picture this morning of a group of military women in uniform holding a big pride flag out. Every one of them was overweight. I mean, forget that they're lesbians, whatever. But every one of them was working with about a 30% body fat percentage. These are supposed to be trained fighting people, right? So we've just sacrificed it all in the name of just, we'll lower the standards for us and we'll give it all to our neighbors. Now, back in World War II, when we did that, we didn't just give away stuff. They bought it from us. They paid us. Now, they might have had to pay us back later on. But again, this was a program which was like, okay, you need missiles. We'll sell them to you, but we're not just going to give it to you. What happened to that plan? $33 trillion later in debt. What happened to that idea? This idea that, we're just going to let you have it for free. See, we have an open border, and they're coming in, military-aged men compared to women and children that are coming in. They're coming in 50-1. 50-1. Now, you can check my math on that, but I think I'm pretty close. 50-1 military-aged men coming into this country compared to women and children. And we've effectively bankrupted and disarmed ourselves. We've given away the lawnmower. We've handed it off to other nations who need to cut their grass. Are they even going to use it? I don't know. But are they even going to say thank you? You know, Kuwait is one of the wealthiest countries in the world. I mean, they got a lot of oil over there. Kuwait's got a lot of cash. I don't remember ever getting a thank you card from Kuwait from what we did in Desert Storm. Anything? We never got it. Maybe it got lost in the mail. We didn't get a gift card to the salon. I mean, we didn't. They didn't so much as send us a pocket knife to say thanks. Where's the payment plan? We're over here bankrupt, and we're just giving our stuff away. The logic behind that is not only ludicrous, it's insulting. Because every one of you, when I was telling the lawnmower story, you're going, you're a dumbass. Why would you do that? Your kids broke the piggy banks to buy you a new lawnmower. And you just gave it to the neighbor? What the hell? But we turn a blind eye when our government continues to print cash and then give everything we have away. It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, at no level of any explanation in this world of your human experience does any of that logic make any sense. But here we are. Here we are, folks. And they're going to take it. There's a Hamas official who's avowed now to repeat the horrific terror attacks on Israel that happened earlier this month. They said, we're going to do it again and again until the country is completely destroyed. Says that Israel has no place on our land. Ghazi Hamad, he's part of the decision-making political bureau of Hamas, warned the Gaza leadership would replicate the coordinated October 7th. And yet we have political extremists, and I'll call them that, like the Squad in Washington, D.C., who are calling for a ceasefire, saying, no, you can't fight back. Hamas says they're going to keep coming. They're going to keep coming. They're going to keep coming. It behooves Israel to defend itself and to fight back and to exact justice and have vengeance and vindication. But I was asked this morning, I was on Sean Spicer's show. It said, do we put our military boots on the ground? I said, at this stage in the game, knowing what we know, no, we don't. We don't. And we don't need to keep supplying them with our stuff. Let's keep our lawnmowers here at home and the people riding the lawnmowers. Now, they can buy it from us, and we'll support them. I'm all for supporting them. I'm all for praying for them. I'm all for lending a helping hand where we can. But let them fund their war. And again, I know what you're saying. We fight the wars over there so we don't have to, it doesn't come here. No, see, what you don't understand is we're living in a different day and time because the war is already here. The borders are open. The extremists live among us. They're here. I'm not trying to fearmonger. I'm just telling you that's the reality. Statistically speaking, based on the numbers, and the numbers never lie, they're already here. So You want to keep fighting that foreign war, focused on that foreign war, and neglecting your own field, folks. There's a huge principle there. So focused on everybody else's business that you forget your own, you're going to find yourself in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. For 10 years, Patriot Mobile has been America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. And when I say only, trust me, they're the only one. We love Patriot Mobile and so thankful for their partnership with this show. They're good friends as well. They offer dependable nationwide coverage, giving you the ability to access all three major networks, which means you get the same coverage you've been accustomed to without funding the left. So when you switch to Patriot Mobile, you're sending the message that you support free speech, religious freedom, and sanctity of life, Second Amendment, and our military veterans and first responder heroes. 100% U.S.-based customer service team will make switching easy. Keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. They'll help you. Their team will help you find the best plan for your needs. You go to patriotmobile.com/chat or call them on the phone, 972-PATRIOT. You get free activation if you remember to use the offer code CHAD. I spell it Chad. Join me. Make the switch today. patriotmobile.com/Chad. patriotmobile.com/Chad. We'll be right back. Elon Musk was on Joe Rogan. Pretty interesting interview. Obviously, I don't have 3 hours to sit there, but I've caught bits and pieces of it. And, you know, Elon is interesting things. I don't care what you really think about Elon Musk. We all have our opinions on people, and I'm not expecting anybody to agree with somebody completely. I never do. You shouldn't, actually. But Elon, regardless of what you think of him, he's got some interesting thoughts on some stuff, and he's not afraid to say them. Being basically the richest dude in the world helps you with that. Let's skip down to 10, guys. I want to, here's an interesting take. Play clip number 10.
From the standpoint of some of the people who used to be at Twitter, the people are like, well, it's a big shift to the right. That is correct. It is a shift to the right because everything is to the right if you're far left. Everything is to the right. But how many far left people have actually been suspended or banned from Twitter, now X? Zero.
Now, the issue that I have, they may not be banning or whatever, but they are throttling. I can tell you that from personal experience. Mine has eased up a little bit in the last 3 weeks maybe, but they're throttling. And I don't know if that's because of Linda Yaconelli, who he hired on to be the CEO. She is a former World Economic Forum board member, so that immediately means I don't trust her. I saw a little bit of a shift after he hired her on. And so, yes, have you seen it go a little more to the right? Maybe in that, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, maybe because you're not seeing as much shadow banning and banning, outright banning of conservative accounts. I mean, again, you look at Shia Raichik, Libs of TikTok. I mean, their demand was that she get booted off, deplatformed, kick her off of Twitter, not let her have a voice, right? And basically, that was the reality prior to Elon Musk. That's not the way it should be. I mean, just because you disagree with somebody's opinion or their take on something, again, as I said yesterday in my wild-ass rant about the gay museum, those things don't equate violence. They don't equate violence. If I read something on Twitter and I take off and want to do violence to somebody, that's a me problem. That ain't a somebody else's opinion problem. That's a mental issue that I have. If I'm reading something and I want to go out and beat somebody up, I mean that's insanity. Now, again, where do you think these things that are happening? I mean, I've posted. You can go to my Instagram, go to my Twitter @WatchChad, X, whatever it's called. I've got some video posted up there. There's Ivy League students who are chasing down Jewish students. There was the Cornell University student who was calling for people to follow Jews home, slit their throats, murder them, rape them, and he was Asian. Did you see that? And he was under a Hamas screen name. I don't think people with that level of hate are becoming that way because they read a post on X. These people have mental issues. Now, where those mental issues stem from, again, is not from reading a social media post. It's by and large the brainwashing that's happened in society, whether it's from public schools, institutions of higher learning, colleges, universities, television, indoctrination. I mean, mainstream media, we can go down the line. Yeah, I can tell you this, as a person who's been running his mouth for a number of years here on The Blaze or from the front seat of my truck or on whoever show I might appear on, my goal has never been to indoctrinate anybody. My goal is to equip people with information and then to say, now think critically about this and come to your own conclusion. Now, I get disregarded because I make a living as a comedian. I get on stage, I tell jokes. But when I come on here, there's some serious issues in the world, and I'd kind of like to take a stab at those things. And so I'm happy when a guy like Elon Musk comes along and enables people to speak their mind a little more freely. This idea that those opinions are just going to force violence on people or force people to go do violence, I just think that's a stretch. I really do. Now, I could be dead wrong on that. Somebody might read a post and come after me because they've heard that I'm a horrible human being, but I just don't think that's the way it works. I think there's a whole lot of indoctrination that's been going on. If you don't believe me, we're going to go to clip 1. If you don't believe me, look what Elon Musk had to say about Twitter and its relationship with the government. Play 1.
What was that like? Because that, to me, that was the most bizarre, was the Twitter files. When you let Schellenberger and Matt Taibbi and all those guys get in the Twitter, and the response where Matt Taibbi gets audited. I mean, which is just wild. I mean, it's just so blatant and so in your face.
Yeah, it's weird. No, I mean, the degree to which, and by the way, Jack didn't really know this, but the degree to which Twitter was simply an arm of the government was not well understood by the public, and it was whatever the official government. I mean, it was like Pravda, basically. A state publication is the way to think of old Twitter. It's a state publication.
And was the justification from their perspective that they are progressive liberals, they have the right intentions, it's important that they stay in power, the progressive liberals stay in government and power because this is their...
There was basically oppression of any views that would even, I would say, be considered middle of the road. But certainly anything on the right. I'm not talking about like far right. I'm just talking mildly right. The people like Republicans were suppressed at 10 times the rate of Democrats. Now that's because old Twitter was fundamentally controlled by the far left. It was like completely controlled by the far left.
Boy, we have done it to ourselves, haven't we? I said it on Sean Spicer's show this morning. The world, humanity has this crazy ability to destroy itself, almost like a bloodlust. We'll talk about that a little bit in the next segment where we were talking about this crazy desire for apocalypse that people seem to have right now. But take into account what Musk said there, and some of you might have just kind of drowned out what he was saying. But to say that Twitter is an arm of the government and that conservative voices were suppressed 10 times more than liberal voices? That it was like Pravda, which was communist Lenin's mouthpiece, their mainstream media in Bolshevik Russia? Wow. Government propaganda? Is that what I hear him saying? That Twitter was just government propaganda? Dude, you got to let that stuff sink in. If you think, listen, I'm going to say this, we're going to go to break. We're living, America, I think, we're living in the most enslaved nation in the history of the world. We're enslaved. We call ourselves, and again, we're parading it under the banner of freedom and liberty. We're not free. You can't even control the information that's coming at you. We are enslaved. We work our asses off year-round, pay those taxes, only to see them give our lawnmower to the neighbor across the pond. We fight everybody else's fight. We have to keep paying for it. They can print the money, but again, just to keep us in check, they keep taking the money, the taxes. And what do we do? What do we do? We just keep on getting on these phones, getting on these tablets, getting on these laptops, and just lapping up the misinformation that's being spread our way because they're only showing you what they want you to see so that it controls your mind. It controls your mind. We're inundated with it. So, no, it's not one tweet from Shia Rashik who's causing extreme violence. It's not one tweet. It's not one Facebook post. It's not one Instagram video. No, it's an entire society. The government has marshaled all of its forces of information against you to control the things that you see. We're the most enslaved people in the history of the world. You might not hear the rattle of physical chains, but I promise you, mentally, we are in a cage. Guys, keep your guns clean. The best thing you can use is Barrel Buddy. Clean those guns, use those guns, train with those guns, and when you're done training, clean them again, okay? Barrel Buddy is an incredible, incredible little tool, man. It's a much better solution than anything you've been using to clean your guns with. They compress to fill the interior of your gun's barrel. They will clean the rifling grooves as you push it through with the rod. They come in 7 different sizes, which means there's a size to match any caliber firearm you own. They're made of little polymers, so unlike the patches, they don't leave behind the residual particles, which makes them safer. They scrub. They collect the particulates. They absorb the remaining residue. You can even lubricate your firearm with them. So it's a really cool little tool. I want you to pick some up and support them because they're doing such a great job of supporting us. And support your guns. Your guns need a bath, folks, and Barrel Buddy's what you're going to use to give them that little sponge bath. That's right. Barrel Buddy's a new concept, better concept. It's a safer concept, so get some. You're going to love them. Go to barrelbuddy.com. Barrelbuddy.com. We'll be right back. Yeah. I mean, I don't care who you're listening to. They all want apocalypse. It's weird, Brandon.
Yeah, it's a little disconcerting. You know?
What did I say to you? It's almost like they all want to be proven right.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of the Muslims, obvious, like those are obvious. They're in it for the
I'm
end
talking
game.
About conservative voices.
But yeah, it's the conservative Jews and a lot of the Christians who it just seems like they kind of, I don't want to say they want it, but it seems like everyone's on board with let's do the apocalypse now.
Well, I'll tell you the mindset that it reminds me of is how many people on the left were willing to just let America go to absolute waste because they hated Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And it's like, we want to make sure that Donald Trump fails. He's going to fail no matter what. I mean, we're going to shoot the pilot in the head. And so it don't matter if we die in the plane crash. And now conservatives are doing much the same thing because they want to be able to prove that everybody made a mistake with Joe Biden and this administration. I think the telltale signs of the Biden administration's failures are pretty much there. We don't have to blow up the globe to do it. But it's almost like these people are just hungry for this. And again, you look at every movie that's been made over the last 30 years, everything's about the end of the world, you know. Everything's about some kind of global Armageddon. And now it's like they want that fulfilled just to prove.
Yeah, and it's a different flavor when it's a religious conflict. You know, war is war, but you bring religion, all 3 religions to be specific, and that's a different kind of
Yeah, it really is. We've taken ideological warfare to the next level.
And like, I get it. It's in the books. I'm not going to argue. Like, it's in the books, but I don't want to encourage it.
Yeah.
And it just seems like everyone has already kind of given up on this isn't going to get better. Let's make it go as bad as possible.
Well, I started out the show by saying we may not be salvageable as a country. We may not be salvageable as a world.
Yeah.
People are so just desperately opposed to one another. I mean, there's no common ground. I mean, if I go on Twitter right now and say the sky is blue, somebody's going to be like, F you, you fake-ass cowboy.
Yeah, oh, you want to just kill babies then?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I said the sky was blue. Oh, so you're okay with murdering civilians? Like,
yeah.
What?
Donald Trump's been indicted 91 times.
Yeah. And I guess it's more so that it's voices who used to be rational who have just cranked it all the way up to 11.
Yeah, it's completely disingenuous, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
It's hard to have a critical thought or a conversation with anybody that wants to do that. And plus, people hide behind fake names and fake avatars and everything else. It's like, what world are we living in that we even take any of that crap seriously?
Yeah. Now, I mean, look, we'll
Here
be
we
good.
are, though.
We'll be good. War is great content. It's not great for the planet, but it's pretty good to be in the news industry when war breaks out.
Yes, it's not good for the planet, that's for sure. If you want to keep up with the war, go to theblaze.com. We'll give you all of the the opinions, the editorials, the investigative journalism. We're getting further and further. We're getting more and more into investigative journalism, even documentaries that members of the Blaze will have an opportunity to not only educate themselves with, but enjoy the information. I enjoy learning. So check it out. If you're not a subscriber of The Blaze, go to theblaze.com or go to blazetv.com/Chad. Use promo code Chad. Sign up there. But also make sure you've got theblaze.com as well. I love the new site. Check it out. They spent a lot of money, put a lot of energy and effort into it. Yet again, they posted another Jason Whitlock opinion piece on my Facebook, and I was like, stop doing that. Stop doing that. Mostly I just like to stir the freaking pot. And because I don't, he likes to complain about Deion Sanders, and I don't want to fight a fight about Deion Sanders.
Yeah, I like Coach Prime.
I don't have any dog in the fight there.
Yeah.
It's like whatever, but Whitlock obviously doesn't care too much
Personally,
for it.
I'm looking forward to the top 10 fashion choices for the nuclear winter.
Man, I'll tell you, it's going to be Rags and Tatters. We're going to go ahead and call it that. Ragsandtatters.com for your global Armageddon winter, nuclear winter. Hang tight. We're not done. We'll be right back. All right, guys, the weekend is coming. It's coming. Looking forward. I'm going to be in Tulsa, Oklahoma, all weekend long. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 2 shows on Friday, 2 shows on Saturday, 1 on Thursday. Come on. Never know who you're going to run into. We're going to have celebrities in the house. You didn't know there were celebrities in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They're going to be there. I'm bringing Jesse Payton with me. We're going to be there. Go to watchchad.com for all the fun stuff is. And check it out. Going to have some fun. Do a little looking around when you're over at watchchad.com and see where else I'm going to be. I'm going to be in Wichita, Kansas next weekend. Then we're going to be in Tomball, Texas, as well as Marble Falls. Tons of stuff coming up, man. Got Little Rock, Arkansas. Got St. Cloud, Florida. A bunch of stuff in between. A lot of little towns we're going to be in as well. Small Town Tour 23 is what we called it. Who knows what 24 is going to hold for us. But don't forget, head over to all of my socials. Go to my link tree on Instagram. You'll see the link in my bio. You'll see the place where you can pre-save I'd Be Jolly Too, coming out November 17th. It's the Christmas music that's going to rock the world, y'all. Tomorrow we'll get off the rails, I promise. I love you. God bless you. We'll see you then. Bye.